Fully Raw?
Hello, can you see me?
I can see you in all your brilliance. Can you see me? I have my new hat on too. My new Cal Jam hat. We'll get you one. All right, so this is our first podcast of the season. Are you excited?
I am so excited.
And we're starting it out with a big bang here. So let's start it out with a good question. Why don't you tell all of our viewers about your co-op and what it's about? And how did it get started?
I run a nonprofit organic produce cooperative here in Houston, Texas called Rawfully Organic, and it is actually the largest in the States right now. We have a little over 15,000 registered members just in the Houston area alone. We feed about 800 families a week. We are a nonprofit in the state of Texas, and basically what we do is we're like a giant buying club for organic produce for not just people, but we're also a selling source for organic farmers. So basically we're like the central hub for people to come and pick up a huge box of organic fruits and vegetables, local and non-local, all organic, a delicious mix. And we're also the central hub for local farmers to be able to come and sell their stuff to us, kind of like a pre-sale so that we can support them as well. And there are 6 farms right now that have grown significantly with us. I'll give you.
How big are these farms you're talking about?
So let me give you an example. The Gunderman Farms. I've known them since I was a teenager, and they.
Well, you're still a teenager, aren't you?
Oh, I'm 27.
You look like a teenager. That's a good thing.
That is, yes. They started off with maybe less than 50 acres back in 2007. And now they have over 400 and something acres, almost 500 acres worth of land that we have been able to help provide for them, get them organic certifications and whatnot. And basically they're growing for us almost full time right now, which is kind of crazy because that means that they don't have to go to farmers markets to get, the sales. They're getting a pre-sale through us. They're feeding the community. It's like a win-win for everybody. And
that's the important thing, is a win-win for everybody.
Everybody. And it's such an awesome community when people come and they pick up their food, they're sharing recipes, they're talking about it, they're having fun. And gosh, we had so much fun the other day unhauling watermelons from trucks, It's like my favorite pastime is eating watermelon, getting to unload it from trucks and have that kind of interaction. You don't get that anymore. And I always tell people you should be shopping for your food outside. You should be picking it outside. You should have that nitty-gritty feeling when you pick out your food. You shouldn't be underground in a grocery store shopping for your groceries. You should have that connection.
Wow. And what gave you the impetus to do this? I mean, what promoted you to get involved with this?
Yeah, so I started this co-op literally almost 8 years ago. October 1st will be our 8-year anniversary.
So you were 19.
I was 19.
Jeez.
I think I was at the cusp of being 20.
The cusp, okay.
Which is, I was pretty much type 2 diabetic, and they were trying to wean me onto insulin at the time. I was severely emaciated and underweight, and I just felt awful. I knew this as being characterized by having frequent migraines, dehydration, tons of vomiting, being feeble and weak, insomnia, things that most people don't even realize that they're sick from, except for it was literally destroying me from the inside out. My mother is from Lebanon, my father's from Ecuador, and I grew up on a very high-fat, animal product-based diet that basically had no fruits and vegetables in it whatsoever. And I remember going in and out of the hospital all the time. I almost didn't graduate high school because I had so many sick days. And so I remember I was in a Whole Foods one day, and I had this magical angel tap me on the shoulder, and he just asked me, "Excuse me, are you a raw foodie?" And I kind of popped up and I looked at him and I was like, "What's that? What's a raw foodie?" And he kind of explained it. He explained to me that he juices like 10 pounds of fruits and vegetables in a day, eats nothing but raw foods, or he eats as much as he can, and he's into health and nutrition. And you can only imagine that having an older man like approach you in the grocery store, you're kind of thrown back, and you're like, oh, I think you.
So this was an actual person. It wasn't some spirit that came to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
His name was John Rose, by the way.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm an open person, so I took his card, and I remember going back home that day and telling my family, like, I met a rabbit man. This is weird. And they were like, okay, that Kristina, that's weird, but they just totally blew it off. And it had never happened that I'd gone into the hospital one day, gotten out of the hospital, and gone back in the next day. And I remember that was the last time that I ever ate food. Dinner that night was a bowl of really processed, disgusting milk with some sugar-free chemicals, like diabetic granola that came out of a package. And I remember waking up at 3 in the morning, vomiting. I was 87 pounds and 5'7", and my parents took me to the hospital. I was in there for 3 days with IVs in me, and they were basically just telling me that my body couldn't handle it anymore. Whatever it was, that, my blood sugars were off the chain, I was unhealthy. I mean, and it wasn't that I wasn't eating that I was so thin, because I was eating all of my mother's Lebanese food. I was eating all this. I felt like the more that I ate, the thinner I got. It was just, I was so starved for nutrition. So I remember when I got out of the hospital, I ended up calling John Rose, and I was like, look, I've never, ever tried anything alternative before. All I've ever done is listen to what doctors have told me, which is eat out of a package, sugar-free this, diet this, diabetic this, whatever it was. And the first thing that came out of his mouth was, do you squat when you poop? And I was like, what? This is
Who asked you that?
He did, when I was on the phone with him. He asked me that. He was like, well, I'm going to teach you a little bit about health and nutrition. He's like, I think I can help you. You can probably reverse this just by changing what you eat. And he met me at Whole Foods like every day that week, just explaining to me that me eating nothing but processed ingredients and high-fat foods and nothing but meat and dairy and not eating fruits and vegetables all the time was affecting my health. And, he was like, well, why don't you just try doing this for a few weeks and see if you like it? And I was like, going raw, like just straight in, eating nothing but raw foods. Like an 18-year-old, I didn't even know what that meant. He was like, yeah, just pick your favorite fruit. And so I
Pick your what?
What?
Pick your favorite fruit?
Yeah, pick my favorite fruit. And I'd never really eaten that much fruit before, because, maybe a watermelon in the summer, but in a Lebanese household, fruit and vegetables, no. My Ecuadorian side of my family, it's just all fried chicken, beans, and rice every day, all the time.
Right.
So I remember sitting there, and out of the corner of my eye, I said, okay, well, what about peaches? And he was like, all right, you're going to eat nothing but peaches for 2 weeks straight.
Wow.
And I looked at him, and I was like, whoa, I have blood sugar issues. This is a bad idea. I can't do this, da-da-da. And he was like, no, it's a different type of sugar. This fruit will actually be good for you. And he's like, I think that you're starved for real nutrition, but that your body can't really handle digesting a lot. So we're going to give you one small thing at a time. I'm going to teach you how to eat enough of this every day. And we're just going to take it slow and see how you feel. So keep in mind, I was 87 pounds at the time. I walked out of there with 80 pounds of peaches to last. And believe it or not, but I did it. And after 3 days of eating nothing but peaches, I actually felt amazing. Like I hadn't had a migraine. I gained a few pounds. I felt decent. I went back to school, and I was still in high school at the time. And 2 weeks went by. I felt good. Like I couldn't say it. I felt amazing because I was like still very sickly, but I felt much better.
Uh-huh.
After 2 weeks, I started incorporating more greens, some vegetables, other fruits. I had no idea what I was doing, okay, but I was doing it. And after 30 days went by, I was kind of like, wow, I've been eating raw food for 30 days. And I never told myself that I was not going to eat raw food again. I never told myself that this was like the thing. I just kept telling myself, I've gained like 10 to 15 pounds by this point. Like I was doing so good. I felt good, and I was just trying to take it one day at a time. And I'm a very methodical person. Like I'm very type A, so I was writing down everything I was eating. I was investigating it all. I was looking at what was going in, what was coming out. I was checking my levels, and believe it or not, but everything started to stabilize. And I couldn't believe it. And
When is your birthday?
March March 11th,
Okay.
1987.
All right.
So I'm a Pisces.
You're a Pisces.
I'm a Pisces.
Now, you said, is peaches still your favorite fruit? Or did you burn out on them?
I still love peaches, but my favorite fruits now are just far more tropical and far more exotic and rare to find.
Okay, name one.
Chico sapote.
Okay, I don't know about that one.
Yes, or durian, or jackfruit, or figs. Oh, God.
I love figs too, but they're so sugary though. I can only do a few. What about favorite vegetable?
Ooh. Kale.
Kale. I think my favorite fruit happens to be avocados. That's just me. And
Avocado is a fruit.
that's what I said. Favorite fruit is avocado.
Oh, a fruit.
Yeah. There's a big seed in the middle, so I figured that's a fruit.
I also love...
I think kale might be my favorite too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically before I knew it, 6 months had gone by and I was interning with, doctors across the globe. I ended up going, I transferred from Vanderbilt to Rice, studying kinesiology, studying health science, in addition to studying art and music. And that's kind of where my journey began. When I came to Rice, I jumped onto the environmental committee and we started a Tuesday farmers market. And it was from that point on that I started establishing relationships with farmers. It gave me the impetus to start the co-op, and the co-op started with 7 people in my living room, and in the past 7 years has just grown so much, and it's become such
How could it not,
thing.
though? Because the world's so ready for it right now. Well, why don't we go back a little bit to your background? I didn't realize you have some formal education and training in health sciences, or?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So my journey is a little funny. Growing up, I thought I wanted to be a potter.
A what?
A potter.
A potter.
With ceramics.
Okay.
And I got a full ride to Vanderbilt University for art and for music. And I was trained in jazz and blues. I did music composition, and I'm very much a person of the math, the arts, and the sciences. I'm my father's daughter. Can't help it. And halfway through being at Vanderbilt, I realized that I was in a studio all the time. As much as I loved my art, I wanted to just be in a warmer place. I wanted to be near my family, and I figured, hey, I could do that somewhere else. But I was also developing this passion for health as I became raw. My whole body, my whole everything changed, and all I could think about was helping people with this message, getting them to eat more fruits and vegetables, growing our own food, becoming more spiritually conscious, like changing from the inside out. Like every single cell of my being just wanted to do this. So I ended up transferring to Rice University, and I don't know, it was just the place for me. From being on the environmental committee to getting really involved with all the professors there who work in the health sciences, that work with kinesiology and movement in the body and being active and figuring out what foods help you feel this way, epidemiology. It was so beautiful and so much for me. So I ended up finishing my undergrad and then completing my thesis on the difference between juice feasting, and water fasting, and how a raw foods diet can incorporate into creating a healthier lifestyle in a modern day society. And that's what I've become so good at. And, from there, just a few years ago, I started my YouTube channel and starting to share recipes with people, give them inspirational tips, how they can be healthier, not necessarily even fully raw, but just maybe even get one raw meal a day.
Right.
Just so that they can feel better, because even these smaller things, baby steps, make such a huge difference. And, everything unravels, and you just have an amazing time all the time. I love my life.
Right. Let me ask you this. Now, you were in music school. Do you play an instrument at all?
I sing.
You sing?
I sing.
Do you want to sing at Cal Jam?
What?
Would you like to sing at Cal Jam?
I could sing at Cal Jam.
Well, tell me who your favorite musician would be. Somebody I would know. I didn't know about some of the tropical fruit you were talking about. I'm not as diverse as you.
So I'll give you a classic. I love Sarah McLachlan.
Okay.
I love Sarah McLachlan. I love Nora Jones. I was trained in jazz and blues, and when I went to Rice, they only had classical, so it kind of strained my voice a little bit, and I stepped back from that, and I started focusing more on the health and the sciences. But singing will always be a wonderful passion for me. It's a expression, just like art.
So I'm putting you up to. Do you want to sing at Cal Jam? If we had you come out and sing one song before you go up.
I can totally sing a song.
All right.
I have to figure out what song, but I'll totally do it.
Well, yeah, we'll pick one that's got a little bit of kind of rock and roll, and it has to have a little bit of. It has to fit the theme of what we're trying to do here too.
Well, we can pick the perfect song. We got time.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of time.
Awesome.
So let me ask you this: what have you heard about Cal Jam, and what made you decide that you wanted to be involved?
So I am in Houston, and I'm very close with Dr. Group and Daniela Group, their family, and they jumped into our co-op. They were one of the first few people to jump in.
And they're the most amazing people. I love them to death.
They're the most amazing family ever.
Yeah.
I just love Daniela. I love Dr. Group. We have his book that we pass out at our co-op. Health Begins in the Colon, and they were just. He reached out to me and he's like, "You got to come to this event. This is an event unlike any other event." He's like, "The energy is vibing. There's good music. It's all about health and spirituality and uplifting yourself and chiropractic." And I know he basically just talked up this event so much that I was like, I got to be there.
Plus, it's a celebration too. We like to have a little party once in a while too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's all about celebrating health.
Right. Celebrating life with people of like minds. So you're excited about being involved. That's what I'm really excited about.
Yes.
All right, you're going to pick a song for me then.
I'll pick a song for you.
Okay, let me ask you this. What YouTube channels do you subscribe to?
Oh my
Are you a fan of David Wolf at all?
You know what? I love David Wolf, but I don't think he's uploaded a YouTube video in a long time.
No, I was just, that was kind of two questions in the same.
Some of my favorite YouTube channels are my best friends that are also on YouTube. That some of them are in health, some of them are not. Like one of my best friends, Megan Elizabeth or Victoria Arnstein. I love Timothy Sheep's channel. I mean, I watch everything from Jimmy Kimmel to parkour to some of my girlfriends do like health and fitness or beauty or whatever it may be. It's what's so amazing about the world right now is that we can connect with anybody all over the world with this technology, and you meet people who are in alignment with you and that have that same beautiful energy, and you get to interact with them online.
Right.
And it's
right.
funny, I've stopped watching TV. I've stopped polluting my mind with
it's horrible.
These, subliminal messages, and I've started watching real people that I can connect with, and it's life, I love it.
Yeah. Well, I really, really appreciate you taking time out of your day for our viewers, and I'm so, so excited to have you on the stage this year. You're going to pick a song out, and we'll see if we can get you incorporated into the program. You'll come out and rock it. I know you will. I just feel the vibe already.
This is going to be so much fun. Like, whoever is listening and or watching this, you have to be there because it's going to be the party of the century.
Yes, it will be. I like that. We might have a few more after that, though.
I know. So should I bring the fruit? I think I should bring the fruit. Maybe I should bring the fruit.
Bring some vegetables, too.
Yes.
Add some kale. Because you know what? Backstage, I have the juicer, and I also have my Vitamix, so.
Yeah, you do. See, this is the party that I'm talking about.
Because I can't, I can't go where I need energy the most and eat crap. And I don't eat crap anyways, but I have to do what I do, and that's part of my lifestyle, and people think I'm weird and trippy, but I empty out all the crap that's in the Orange County Performing Arts Center refrigerator. I throw all the Diet Cokes and all the milk products, and I throw all that trash, and I stuff it full of vegetables, and we juice for 2 days and make smoothies, and we just rock and roll, basically. Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. And you want to know what? I tell people, as long as you're making an effort to get healthier and you're doing what works for you, that is what matters.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, when you are truly happy, that's when you will discover real health and what it's about. You'll want to take the steps to become the best you that you can be, and that's where it's at.
And I think you said it too. It's just like baby steps. It's a gradual process, and the more they start to feel better when they implement just small things, the more they're going to want to implement more. It's hard to get people to try to go cold turkey on stuff. In fact, I'm being in practice for 30 years. I've realized that. If it's a matter of just getting them to drink a little bit more water, that might be a start for some people. Again, I want to thank you for your time today. This is our first inaugural DCS podcast, Cal Jam podcast, with FullyRaw Kristina. who's going to be rocking the Cal Jam stage.
Thanks, Billy.
Bye, Kristina. Thank you.